I would request the Chairman Railway Board to kindly welcome the Honorable Minister by presenting a small bouquet. I request the Chairman Railway Board again to kindly welcome Mr. Gurjar, Minister of State for Social Justice and Environment, Empowerment. Thank you, sir. I will now request the Honorable Minister for his address to the gathering, and after this he will formally launch the program.
My good colleague and friend, Mr. Gurjar, Chairman Railway Board, members of the Railway Board, my great colleagues in the Parliament, including Chairman of the committees, subcommittees that you represent, as well as our members of our railway standing committees. So I really appreciate, and also several people will hopefully participate in this bidding process, and our regular friends from media and all my other distinguished friends. Of course, there are so many colleagues from different zones and divisions whom I can see present in their respective offices. So good evening to all of you. As you know, the railways have certain advantages. 23 million people travel by railway every day. If you multiply the round trip that they take in a year, it's a very large number of people who undertake a trip every year. Any place that they frequent becomes the most valuable real estate by the very fact that so many footfalls are there on that property. If you really look at it, that many eyeballs for that property. So the most valuable real estate anywhere in the country would be the real estate where there are railway stations. And that too, it's a captive audience. There is no choice. One cannot say, today I will travel remotely. I will not actually travel, but I will travel, I will presume to have traveled. So people, of course, there are some people who can do that, who can do astral travel, who can just close their eyes and travel anywhere to anywhere. But there are the different kinds of people we are not talking about. But the people who normally travel have to physically travel. And if you want to physically travel, then you must go to the station to board a train. You must alight from the train. So the properties of railways has a very unique characteristic, that stations are frequented by people, and therefore it has huge commercial value. The value which is attached to it by virtue of the fact that so many people frequent it. That's why we must always consider the passenger, irrespective of what he contributes, as a very significant partner in the railway's growth story. So the challenge is, how do you monetize it? How to make sure that is invaluable asset you can actually result into generation of certain money for the railways. Also, obviously, those who invest, they will also be able to make some money. In the process, we'll be able to develop a new icon for a city. There are many cities which are waiting to be identified for some iconic property. So if you can actually develop this into an iconic property, it can become that. Another important aspect of this is that stations can actually cater to so many other facilities at one place itself. I mean, there are many people, particularly I'm sure all the members of parliament like me and others, one of the biggest challenges when you find time to go and buy something, to go to a hairdresser for cutting this, there is no time. Just imagine the amount of facilities we can provide in one particular place. All these multifaceted facilities, somebody can make use of them while he is waiting for a train to be boarded or something like that. So I think this is a great opportunity. So monetization of an asset, providing amenities to passengers. And for that, we are working on a multi-pronged strategy. One, we had announced that we'll do this through a very transparent bidding process. Some of my friends, not of course my friend, I called it Swiss challenge, but I think I must tell you the difference between this method and the Swiss challenge method. The Swiss challenge method normally starts and initiates with unsolicited bids, right now. So there we are actually soliciting bids. It is not unsolicited bids, but it's solicitation of bid, and the entire initiation of the process starts with a very transparent means. It's all available on the website. Anybody can bid for it. Once the bidding takes place and the design is offered, whether technically and financially, whether that is suitable for the railways or not, will have to be decided properly, and that again, that particular time is subject to a challenge. So if at all somebody wants to call it a challenge, I would rather request them to call it India challenge or a rail challenge. So rather than calling it a Swiss challenge. So please try to give some credit to Indians. They can also think on their own. They have the ability to think. This is completely developed by our own ideas. So I think this is a very important, transparent methodology. Because as we know, infrastructure development is so critical for India. But at the same time, if you do not follow processes which are completely transparent, will also not happen. And therefore, to inspire public confidence, to ensure that there is no process which will be thwarted by some unnecessary irritant, we must have a very transparent and robust process. Again, this is something which we want to do with a public-private partnership. Today, the bidding is only for about 23 stations, and in which, as my colleague said, the investment is almost about 1 lakh crore. Sorry?
Total is 1 lakh for 400 stations.
All put together. And this surplus that we'll anticipate will be also more than 10-11% of that. And today, this whole properties which will be available for development will be the properties which will be initial. This is the first phase of public bidding. And I must also inform all my friends here that we are following multi-pronged strategy, as I said. One is this bidding process, which will happen through all the zonal managers, regional managers, facilitated by the railway board. The second method, which are already tied up with the Ministry of Urban Development. The Urban Development Ministry has already identified 100 cities for smart city development. And I was saying that day also that how can a city be smart if it doesn't have a smart station? So smart station is a prerequisite for becoming a smart city. But then I think we are not smart enough to include that initial stage. So now we have become little smarter. So got an agreement with the Ministry of Urban Development, and that also will be another mode of development. Again, the same ministry has got 400 cities identified for development of that infrastructure at Amrut. So that again has been included, and we already signed an agreement with them. The advantage of this, the partnership with Ministry of Urban Development, is that they have institutionalized framework which includes the local governments, the state government, as well as the central government. Now the advantage of local government is most of the permissions that are required for property development are with the local government. So if they are your partners, it will facilitate early conclusion of deals, financial closure will be possible. We also talk to, for the knowledge of our friends, most of the sovereign wealth fund, most of the pension funds in the world, we already talked to them. They are very keen to participate into this, including the multilateral agencies like World Bank. And that another method we already parallelly tied up. So one is bidding process through this process. Second is the development that will take place through the Ministry of Urban Development. And third, which is through the state governments. And we have signed joint ventures with state government, but that is for infrastructure development. But it is also possible that we can include station development into this. In fact, quite a few states have shown interest, and I am requesting all the general managers and all the DRMs who are here, please pursue this with all the state governments, and we can include this. Particularly, I can see the general manager from Mumbai. Of course, therefore, I am not specifically talking about one particular city. But the state government, as you know, has already said all suburban stations they would like to develop. So this is a possibility of development of station with the participation of state government through a joint venture which already signed. The DRM Pune knows the possibilities of development of similar thing. There is already Pune is also one of the smart city station anyway. So these are the possibilities that exist through this mode. And another interesting note that is of course can be replicated. Our state government of Odisha has already tried to develop Bhubaneswar station, and they will develop it and then they will hand over to us. This is a completely different model. So they are developing, this is already under development. In case of Surat, 15th of February, right, 15th February, we'll open up the bids, and as an integration of train station, railway station, bus station, metro station, as well as other modes of public transport, rickshaws and taxis. In case of Gandhinagar, it's another model. 76% is held by the state government, 24% is held by the railways, and there we are developing 300 room, probably 5-star plus hotel. And this foundation stone was laid by the Honorable Prime Minister on 9th of January, and that will be developed in the next 2 years' time. We'll be completing for the next in line and to be ready for the next Vibrant Gujarat edition. So these are the various different kinds of models we are working on, and we'll be very happy to look at even more innovative models. As we said, there was already a pre-bidding conference recently. The idea was to seek market feedback. It is always possible that we can make it more friendly for participants, but as I said, the cardinal principle is the rules will apply to all. The same rules. The rules can be made flexible, but once rules are made, they will be applicable to all in a way that will be completely transparent, and the outcome also will be completely transparently known to everybody. So this is the cardinal principle we will follow, and therefore I request all of you to participate in this process. We have reached out to all the industry players at most of the cities, and I'm sure, like my friend from Kerala will tell you, there are so many non-resident Keralites who are interested to develop station in their own areas. And we have already got three. So, but we'll work to the state government. I already requested the Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala, and we'll try to work like that. But the possibilities are enormous. We'll definitely like to work on it, and hopefully this will also help railways to get more non-fare revenue, which is part of the strategy. I know some of my friends who are here, they know we had come out with a non-fare revenue policy, which is 16,500 crores for the 16,500 crores for the next 10 years period, and does not include the station redevelopment. So station redevelopment will be an additionality. Second is the digital display network. We don't know exactly how much money can we get from that, but that's another stream of that. So if you look at it, there will be one strategy is to get non-fare revenue. Other strategy will be, of course, to reduce the cost. And in fact, Mr. Kapoor is here. We just released a book for 41K, which is a strategy to reduce the energy cost to by 41,000 crores by multiple strategies, including energy conservation, resorting to renewable energy, doing energy audits, and resorting to things like this. LED bulbs, of course. So I really request you to participate in this program. This will be a great opportunity for developers, great enjoyment possibility for the passengers, and a great opportunity for the railways to earn a revenue from an asset which was not monetized in a proper manner. So it's a good beginning. I'm sure there will be many more occasions in which we'll go for the second round. We have some of our friends who have been advising us, and therefore I also appreciate their contribution and look forward to working with all of you. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all the bidders, and looking forward to all the state governments participating, all the local cell governments supporting, and each one of us becoming partners in this progress. Thank you very much.
हिंदी में सर थोड़ा सा हिंदी मीडियम।
जैसा मैंने कहा कि एक बहुत ही अलग तरीके से रेल के पास जितनी भी प्रॉपर्टीज है उसको मोनेटाइज करने का एक नई तकरीब हम लोगों ने आज लॉन्च करने जा रहे हैं। 23 देश में ऐसे जो स्टेशन है, उसका नाम मैं ले रहा हूँ कहीं पे किसी कारण, लेकिन 23 स्टेशन के ऊपर हमारा ये कार्यक्रम चलेगा। शुरू में वैसे तो 400 स्टेशन पे चलेगा, और ये 23 स्टेशन अलग अलग तरीके से विकसित किए जाएंगे। एक तो उसका जो रास्ता है कि पूरी तरह से ट्रांसपेरेंट बिडिंग द्वारा जोन्स में वहाँ के लोग में जहाँ जो इन्वेस्ट आएंगे उनके साथ में काम किया जाएगा। उसके लिए हम लोगों ने पहले ही बड़े पैमाने पे रोड शोज भी किए थे, इन्वेस्टर कॉन्फ्रेंस भी की गई थी। ये पिछले 1.5-2 साल से कार्यक्रम हमारा चल रहा है। साथ ही में दूसरा तरीका यह है कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के साथ पार्टनरशिप करके जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट उसमें विकसित करने के लिए रेडी हो जाएगी उनके साथ में भी करेंगे। तीसरे, स्मार्ट सिटीज जहाँ पर है और जहाँ पर अर्बन डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्ट्री अमृत सिटी को विकसित करने जा रही है, वहाँ पर भी 100 स्मार्ट सिटी, 400 अमृत सिटीज, यहाँ पर भी स्टेशन रीडेवलपमेंट का कार्यक्रम हम उन मंत्रालय के साथ में काम करके करेंगे। वैसे राज्य सरकारों के सहयोग से वैसे भी हम कर रहे हैं कि जैसे भुवनेश्वर में उड़ीसा सरकार के साथ काम करके वो लोग डेवलप कर रहे हैं। गुजरात में 76% इक्विटी इन्होंने ले ली है हमारी गुजरात सरकार ने, और वहाँ पर 300 बेड रूम्स का हॉस्पिटल भी बनाया जा रहा है, होटल भी बनाया जा रहा है। और साथ ही में सूरत में इंटीग्रेटेड ट्रांसपोर्ट सॉल्यूशन जिसको हम कहते हैं, एक पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट की सब तरीके, बस, रेलवे, मेट्रो, टैक्सी, रिक्शा, सबको साथ में मिलकर एक बहुत ही बड़ी मात्रा में 15 फरवरी को उसका टेंडर कर दिया जाएगा। ये भी हो रहा है भुवनेश्वर में, जैसे मैंने कहा कि वो यहाँ की राज्य सरकार ही विकसित करके हमको दे रही है। तो इस अलग अलग माध्यमों से ये विकसित करने का कार्यक्रम किया जाएगा। उसके अनेक लाभ है। एक लाभ तो है कि वहाँ काम करने वाले, जो वहाँ से सफर करने वाले जो लोग रहेंगे, उनके लिए एक ही जगह पर शॉपिंग मॉल्स मिलेंगे, एक ही जगह पर फूड कोर्ट्स मिलेंगे, एक ही जगह पर दवा की दुकानें भी रहेगी और अलग अलग सुविधाएं भी मिल पाएगी। साथ ही में हमारे रेल के लिए नई आमदनी होगी। शहर के लिए लाभ होगा कि शहर में एक बहुत अच्छा एक नया विकसित आइकॉनिक स्ट्रक्चर मिलेगा, और राज्य सरकारों की सहायता से भी, राज्य सरकार को भी उसमें हम कहीं जहाँ भी पार्टनर बनेंगे उनके भी नया स्रोत मिलेगा आमदनी का। तो सभी को मिलकर एक कार्यक्रम शुरू हो रहा है। 400 स्टेशन कुल विकसित किए जाएंगे। इसमें से कुछ स्टेशन का तो जैसे मैंने कहा पहले ही कुछ कार्यक्रम चल रहा है। ये नए 23 स्टेशन के बारे में हम लोग आज जिक्र कर रहे हैं, और मैं मानता हूं कि आगे आने वाले दिनों में पूरे स्टेशन में सफल करने में हम लोग कामयाबी पाएंगे। यहाँ पर जितने भी लोग मौजूद हैं, जिन्होंने जो हमारे आने वाले दिनों में साझेदार बनेंगे, उनको भी मैं बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ, धन्यवाद देता हूँ। जय हिंद।
Thank you, sir. 2 minutes. Sir, thank you very much, sir. Now I will request the Honorable Minister to formally launch the program by clicking this.